Hi and welcome. My name is Mara Watts with Mara Watts Yoga. And in today's video, I will be guiding you through an entire breakdown of Warrior Two pose. Warrior Two pose is a very well-known posture that we tend to see in magazines, in yoga marketing, and we tend to come into when we're practicing yoga, either in the studio or at home. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a full breakdown of alignment, of how this pose is meant to be put together in your body. And just know that every body is different. So your Warrior Two is probably going to look a little different from my Warrior Two, and my Warrior Two is going to look different from someone else's. So be mindful that your body is different than any other body on the planet. So, and that's what's beautiful about God's creation, right? So, one thing with Warrior Two is if you have any knee or hip injuries, Warrior Two can be considered a contraindication in your body, as well as high blood pressure. Those are two things that you really need to pay attention to if you're practicing Warrior Two, okay? So there are several ways of coming into Warrior Two, one being from downward facing dog, when we lift one leg, we step through, and then we windmill up. So that's one way. Another way is to simply step back on your mat. And that is how I'm going to be guiding you through today's breakdown. So from the top of your mat, standing in a mountain pose with a little buoyancy in your knees, we're going to take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, bring your hands to your hips. This will help to offer some balance in your body. And then take another big breath in and begin to bend into the left leg. And then as you exhale, we're just going to step wide. Okay, and you can heel toe that foot back or forward to kind of find your stance here. So the back foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat, ideally. And the front toes are facing forward. Okay, and when we're talking about yoga postures, we always want to start with our base. So start with our feet, work up into the legs, the hips, the core, the chest, the arms, the neck, and then the head. So we're building, it's like building blocks. You wouldn't start at the top and expect for a building to be built, right? So we have to start at our base. So we begin with our wide stance, and in Warrior Two, you can either have the front heel in alignment with the middle of the back arch, or you can be in heel to heel alignment, meaning the front heel is in alignment with the back heel. So if you drew a line, there would be a line from the heel to heel. I personally like heel to heel alignment. Some folks like heel to arch alignment. It just depends on your body. So kind of play with that, kind of feel what feels best first. And then what we're going to do once you find which is most appropriate for you is with hands on the hips, begin to bend into that front knee, just a tad. You may not go all the way into Warrior Two at first. You may just have this micro bend here, and then slowly start to make your way into knee over ankle. And so in this posture, we, as yoga teachers, tend to tell you knee over ankle, which is true, or the knee can come back just a little bit if that's too much for the inner thigh and for the hips, for the body and as a whole. But we want knee over ankle. When you have this, begin to press down into the toes and down into the heels so that you feel like there's a bubble or a suctioning of the arches in the feet. What this will also do is this will also activate the muscles in your legs, and it'll help to ground you down into your feet. Okay, so once you have that and you have your knee over ankle, what we want to do is we want to take our hands, so the right hand here, and use the hand to add a little bit of pressure to the inner thigh and to encourage the front knee to trace over the ankle to avoid this like falling in kind of thing. So we want to be very mindful that the knee is over the ankle and maybe even tracing outwards a little bit. Okay, so I like to take my hand and encourage the knee in place, in alignment. So we have the toes pressing down, the heels pressing down, legs are activating. We've got knee over ankle, so we've got the solid base here. Then what we want to do is we want to drop into the pelvic floor so that the hips are dropping down, okay? So that we draw the tailbone in, engage the abdominal muscles so that the belly button is hugging in towards the spine, in and up. Okay, so you see this lifted elevation of my torso. And then from here, we're gonna inhale the arms up, okay? Take a big breath in and roll the shoulders up and down and away from the ears. We're gonna reach out through the right hand and back through the left hand so that you have this like, it feels like someone's pulling you forward and backwards, okay? So when you have that, what I like to teach my students is I like to take the left hand to the left shoulder and take a big breath in and round and roll the shoulder back and down and then reach the left arm back. That really helps place that shoulder away from the ears and down. And then we gaze over the front fingers, breathe. And then when you're ready to come out of this, we exhale hands down to the hips, straighten the front leg, parallel the feet together, and heel toe the feet together. Ah. That felt great. So how did that feel in your body? Knowing where to place the feet, how to drop down into the hips, into the tailbone there, engage the abdominal muscles, broaden through the chest and reach out. Another thing with placing the hand on the left shoulder and inhaling it up and back is that it encourages the chest and the collarbones to open. So when your arms are out, you're very open through here, okay? So I hope that that helps. If you tried that on one side, rewind and try it on the other side so that you are complete in your body. And let me know how that felt. Let me know if there was anything different in your body when you were practicing your Warrior Two. Thanks for joining me.